1 change, 2 change, 3 change, 4. All the minor things tonight we can't ignore. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Top 5-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Top 5 minor changes to Star Wars. Yep. Thank you to Nasty Nate, I don't know, like a month ago or something like that, gave us a suggestion
Probably
idea.
longer than that, no?
I can't remember. But he's like, top 5 minor changes to Star Wars is something a little small that doesn't like drastically change the events of Star Wars, because we know, like the memes are like someone steps on a twig in one universe and then it changes it, and like
Well, it's like the
Leia
entire
and
thing
Chewbacca
of,
are married or something and living on Mustafar. Like crazy stuff like that. Nothing like that.
like rebuild a galaxy. Like one little thing changes
like that
everything.
too.
You know what I mean?
Yep. But we're just gonna do a quick top 5. It's been a while. I can't remember what our last top 5 was.
It's refreshing though.
Last year or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but they're always fun. Everyone loves them, and so after we do our list, in the comments and in a voicemail, something next week or in the coming weeks about what you would change, something minor.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a lot of fun to see what others think, because everyone has their own opinion, and I'm sure we're missing all kinds of.
Oh, dude, because I was like thinking about this at work today, and I was like, my list probably is not the best.
I think the ones I have on my list are the ones that I've
Talked about before.
Well, I know 2 of them I have. The other 3, I don't know if we've talked about them, but they're just things that they're always on my mind, of things that are kind of annoying or I would change.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of an easy, kind of like these main ones, but there's so much Star Wars that. And I remember every time we do episode breakdowns and stuff, there's always little they should have just changed just a little bit.
I know.
And I was like, I don't want to try and go back and.
Well, and then also for me, all of mine have to do with 7, 8, 9, and they
All
are
of them?
minor. All of them, and they're all minor changes that really don't change the story at all. So don't they're good, but I was just trying my best to get out of that mindset, and I could not do it. And I'm hoping maybe as you're talking,
Well, you got my message though, right?
Yes, that we can't use the lightsaber flip one.
Right. Okay.
Yes. That would be on my list if we were able to. That was going to be definitely up there, but
right. And I think I had a few. We can do honorable mentions later, but I had a few from that thing too. And then Yaretsi sent in a voicemail, and she has hers, which is
sweet,
that I forgot about, that I probably should have my list, but because Yaretsi has it, it's good enough for me.
Dang it.
But
I should have listened to the voicemails, then maybe I would have got some. This was my idea first.
But anyway, just before we dive into top 5, just a reminder that next week is Comics with Grace, and so she's going to be on, and we're going to start doing the Bounty Hunter comics. And so we're doing the format a little bit different. Before she would kind of have a presentation and kind of tell us something we've never done before. Well, we're changing it up, and so all 3 of us will be have read these comics, and we're going to kind of do it more like a book review. Grace is still going to be leading the conversation, but now all 3 of us can actually chime in and understand and interpret things. So it's the first 11 issues of the Bounty Hunter comic run, which is the first 2 collections that you can get as separate things. And so have you finished? Have you started?
I've started. I have not finished, but
I think I did. I
I'll be
finished the
able to.
first like collection, which is the first 5 issues, and I think I read the first one, number 6 of the, which is the first of the second one. So
Hmm.
it's kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
if you haven't read them or whatever, you can read them online or you can order them physically. I got the physical copy; it's a lot more fun. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. So get hyped. All right, who wants to go first for number 5?
Let me turn on my phone again. I can go first.
All right, what's your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is from episode 8, and I would change the milking scene.
You
I
change
just
it? What would
like
you change it?
just
Get rid
we
of
don't
it?
need it. Yeah, like if Luke is just there drinking green milk, it would have the same effect. Instead, we got a very awkward scene. So if we just like got rid of that, he's just sitting there drinking milk and it was on his beard or whatever, it would have had the exact same effect and not just gross and awkward. So that's what I would change.
Okay.
I feel like it's a good one. It would not affect the movie at all, and it would just make it a little more humbled.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
don't
this
know.
tonight, this top 5 is gonna go really quick
I
tonight,
feel like it too.
but that's fine because we have about 4,000 voicemails from Shadrick tonight, so we'll run through those quick. All right, cool. Well, my number 5, I think I've mentioned before on podcast, but not like a lot. Um, so we have not on the podcast discussed Star Wars Resistance, the animated show.
Mhm.
Um, someday we will. But so in so this is kind of a little bit of minor spoilers, but it's not really because like the first episode. But like,
I've seen the
uh,
first episode.
so the main character Kaz,
Hmm.
um, he kind of interacts with Poe Dameron a little bit like throughout the series, and so because the show takes place like the first season takes place 30 days before episode 7.
7, yeah.
So Poe Dameron is there. They're interacting. Kaz is a pilot, and he's kind of like sent to be like a spy on the Colossus, whatever, blah blah blah, on behalf of the Resistance. And so they kind of have this on and off relationship throughout the series. So my change would be in the final battle on in episode 9 on Exegol when they're flying around. Everyone shows up. I really wish there was a scene when Poe was being chased down by some TIE fighters and then another ship comes and shoots down the TIE fighters, and it's Kaz, and it's like who was that? It was me, Poe Kaz. Oh, thanks, Kaz. Like I just wish they did that. Like he just like he came in, rescued Poe for like taking out a couple TIE fighters that was chasing him, and then Poe acknowledged him. That would have been super
Just
cool. Like
super
because they had
minor.
all these, yeah, they had all these stupid random pilots show up anyway, like
Yeah.
that no one knew or cared about. But it would be cool just to have that little tie-in to the animated show, bring a cartoon character into live action. Because I think the voice actor for the guy looks pretty similar. I think
Was that was episode 9 out though before the show came out or no?
I believe so. Because
The show came out first?
show
I
came
don't
out
remember.
first.
Oh, okay.
I
So
believe
they could
so.
have done it.
But like, either way, like, it would have worked
Yeah,
because
even
they're
if
not
they
going to
didn't give
kill the
it
main character of like the most like the more a more
kid
kid friendly
friendly.
show.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have killed him off. So that would have been just a cool tie-in to do.
Or
Um,
just a way to build off that character.
yeah,
Because even if like 9 came out first, if they gave us that, we didn't know who that was, but then we get the
right.
story later, then it would have elevated his story anyways.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
could have done that, but they didn't. So that was my number 5 for minor changes.
All right. Well, my number 4 would be showing how they got Luke's lightsaber. I know that we got it in like a comic
I
or
think it was a
something.
comic. Yeah.
But like if we would have got like a flashback on like how she got it, I think that would have it would have been it's almost a major change, I guess, cuz
Well, it
I
wouldn't
don't
have been
know.
a major change because like in episode 7, they're like, "How did you get this? That's a story for another day." Okay,
Yeah.
then you would have told us the story another day, and we wouldn't have been a big
Yeah.
change. So it's
So it
like,
could have been throughout any of the movies, but if we would have actually got it, I think it would have let a lot more people like okay with the situation because I mean I haven't read the comics, so I don't know how they got it, but I know that it's out there. It's written somewhere on how they got it, and so if they would have just shown us that, it would have been super easy and very just not hard to do. Was their hand with it? Like that's everyone's question. Like, you know what I mean? Like just give us a little bit. There was a lot of in these movies that were just like left for
right.
something else. And it was just like unnecessary. So, yep, that would have been my number
But did
4.
you hear what the actual story is though?
I don't remember. I know we talked about it
It's
before
just like a
in a junkyard or something.
junkyard type. Like it was just like a trash went to the trash and got like taken off planet or whatever, and
They found it.
it was just found. Like it was nothing extraordinary. It's not like
Yeah.
a force user like was led to it and then got
So
stolen or
that's
something.
even
Like
more reason why she could have just been like, "Oh, I found it in the trash." Like that was it.
yeah,
Like that's all they could have said. It would have been funny in the moment too. Like people would have laughed in the theater. Like, and it would have
no,
been
I think
done.
people would have been kind of mad. I think it would be the same response as like Luke throwing his saber behind him,
Which, yeah, sadly that can't be on
but
my
she did the
list.
same thing. So it's like
Yeah,
threw it away into the garbage again. All right, cool.
yeah.
Well, my number 4, I know we've talked about this because it was from season 7 of the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch arc. There is a scene when I think it's Mace Windu and Anakin or someone else. They like jump into this big facility, and it's a big open area, and there's literally hundreds of B1 battle droids. I think maybe some like B2 super battle droids, and they're all aiming at Mace Windu, and Mace Windu gives a speech. They, my name is Master Mace Windu of the Jedi Order. In the time of the Clone Wars, I have killed approximately 400,000 B1 battle droids, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, even though you're droids, you still have a choice. You can put your arms down. We can reprogram you and use you for something good. And there's a pause, and then they all raised their guns and started shooting at him. So, but I remember saying, I wish there was one B1 battle droid way in the back. You just see him put his gun down, and then everyone starts shooting. Like I thought that would have been
That would have
a,
been funny.
a super super funny, easy thing. Like it wouldn't have been hard to do,
No,
and it would just been a cool little detail. Like you would miss it, but like if you like were paying attention, like way back there, like 50 rows back, there was this one little gun went down. I thought
yeah,
that would have been a cool little touch, and I thought it would have been really funny, but they didn't do that, and so that's unfortunate. Unless they did, and I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe there is one, but it's even
no, I
harder to
don't
see.
think so. But
But
that would have been funny as heck if they would have done. There's a lot of those moments though in the clones that they could have
yeah,
just
there's
done
the
something.
droids always do crazy stuff.
Yeah, so
Like
why
there was
wouldn't?
one where like there was two B1 battle droids like it's guarding like a hallway door, and Anakin is just walking down, and they're like, "Oh no, it's Anakin Skywalker," and then like, what's the point? Why he even shoot? He's gonna kill us, and then he just goes. I'm like, come on, they could have done whatever.
Yeah.
But that's my number 4.
All right. So my number 3 is a change that we all wish could have happened.
Yeah.
7 through 9. It would have been minor, but well done where people would have just appreciated it. would have been the lightsaber duels, like all of them. If they would have made them closer to the feel of episode 3 and like
Yeah,
fast pace, like it wouldn't have changed any. They didn't have to change the outcome of anything, but they would have made them actually like feel like lightsaber duels. I think so many more people would be happy with those movies.
yeah, just better lightsaber choreography.
Yeah, like it's not
Makes
a
sense.
big change, but it would have changed the feel of the movie by a lot. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I wish the lightsaber duels were better, but I also like try and like understand that Kylo Ren and especially Rey have like little lightsaber experience of like dueling someone with another saber, especially Rey, because like she
yeah,
doesn't do anything. So like it's not going to be as flashy because they don't know how to do it well. They don't have any experience, and
but by
so
9, I feel like Ray could have,
yeah. But she would have never fought anyone.
besides Kylo,
Just that one time in episode 7, because in episode 8, no lightsaber
lightsabers
blades
touch,
touch. So
which is a major change, and that's
yep.
why I didn't say that one.
But I think I don't know.
But I feel like it still would have felt better because she was so good with the stick. Like it wouldn't have been very
Oh
hard
yeah, I
to.
forgot about that
Like she was really
with her. Yeah, her staff.
her, yeah. So I feel like it wouldn't have been that much drastically different. I mean, there's definitely going to be people like, "Why is she so good at the lightsaber?" But there's this; those are the same people who are like, "Why all of a sudden she good with the force?" You know.
Right.
So I don't think it would have. I
I
think for
wonder.
us, it would have felt better.
Like, I wonder what the next. Because like Ahsoka, season 2 will be the next where we see lightsaber dueling, maybe.
And
But
that's
like we don't know for sure because like Balin Skull will be there, like recast. Like, is she gonna fight him again? Or are we going to get flashbacks from to Clone? That's a big rumor that there'd be flashbacks. So we could see
mhm.
dueling there, but like other than that stuff, like I don't know what our next lightsaber choreography would be in live action. So
Yeah, I don't
it
know.
might be a while before we get any of that stuff, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 3 is from Star Wars Rebels, and it has to do with Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Ooh.
Um, there is a scene that I know various people are not happy with because it is very inconsistent with Thrawn's character. There is a scene when one of like the low ranking officers that Thrawn has to deal with like upsets Thrawn, and Thrawn grabs him and like hisses at him like he's angry, and then he comes like,
Mm.
"Oh, my apologies." Like Thrawn, like lashing out like that and grabbing someone by the collar of their neck, like that's not consistent with anything else in his character, like in the books or in rest of Rebels. And like
Mhm.
it's just kind of a bad scene that kind of
Takes you out of the moment.
takes out of like his character because you're just used to him talking so calmly, and then he just freaks out in that one moment, and then he calms down, and it's like that's lame. Because like even in all the 6 books that we've read, like
Yeah,
he's
that's
never
not his
had any
character.
outlashes like that, no outbursts of anger. He's always calm and collected no matter what. So that's the one inconsistency in Thrawn's character development that we get that I think should be changed.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. We are flying.
Yep, that's fine. It's late anyway.
All right, so my number 2 and number 1 kind of can flippy floppy, but I'm just gonna do it anyways. So my number 4 or 2, I mean, is Leia flying.
What?
Yeah, like if she would have just like fell out and then used the force to come back in without flying, I think it would have had one, it would have been the same effect. Two, it would have not questioned people like Mary Poppins and
Well, it's just the way it looked. It looked like Mary Poppins. That's why people don't like it. But
yeah. So, but if she went out and then she just used the force to come back in and then that drained her, like I feel like it would have had the exact same effect and it would have been fine. And I feel like no one would have complained about it. at all. So
Right.
it's a minor detail that they could have just changed the way she reacted in that moment, and it could have had the same effect. And I think it would have felt better for the audience. So yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, my number 2. This is something I've always hated, and I think it's super stupid. And it's from A New Hope, episode 4. I absolutely hate the scene when they're on the Death Star trying to work their way through the Death Star, and all those stormtroopers come into the hallway, and then Han just chases them away.
Bruh.
That is so stupid.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
literally
but
10 stormtroopers there. They could have just mowed down Han, Luke, or Han, Chewbacca, and Leia right there. But Han just runs at him, and they get all scared and run away. And then Leia has a stupid Leia. Well, he has courage at least. Like, oh gosh, I think it's just stupid. It's so unrealistic. Like
yeah.
if they did something like that in Disney Star Wars,
Oh, it would never
everyone would say
what
Kathleen
the
Kennedy's the worst. This is stupid. Blah 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 blah
true.
blah. But
That's
because
fair.
it's part of the original trilogy, everyone
It's
thinks it's okay. No
iconic.
one complains about it. Blah blah blah. So I hate that scene. Super unrealistic.
That's fair.
But yeah. Well, we're flying through like we said. But we might as well just do a quick coffee break.
Ooh.
Might as well, because we always do that anyway before we get our number ones, and we'll do some honorable mentions. So, if you need to make a minor change to your morning schedule,
Ooh.
that's not just minor, but has drastic changes in your life,
True.
consider a cup of coffee or tea from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So let's take a listen to this little commercial break.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it. All right. Well, let's do some honorable mentions before we get to our number ones. One I had on my list that I took off because I guess it would be a major change because it would change things, but like stormtroopers and clone troopers having like weak armor, like one hit kills on
Bro,
them.
that's a huge change.
That's why I took it off. But it's just annoying that like there's all this armor and it never does anything.
Yeah.
Because like
That's
if you
fair.
make the armor better, then you have to change a lot of stories or whatever. But from episode 8, when all those AT-ATs, like those giant ones, the gorilla looking ones, and whatever, like shoot Luke's projection, and then he like does the shoulder wipe off.
Yep.
I hate that. That's so stupid.
Just take away the shoulder wipe off.
Get rid of that. And also from episode 4, Luke and Leia not being sad when their families are killed. Luke, oh, his aunt and uncle are dead. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna cry. Let's just leave. And then Leia's entire family and home planet gets destroyed. And a day later, she's just happy at the ceremony and nothing big deal. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, considering like when you read Lost Stars, and you get that whole emotion from like the side character.
Yeah, like the
Of
whole
his-
book series, like he's sad about it, but like he's emotional about it, but like he like justifies it, but he's also like angry about it. Like
Yeah,
that's how
and he's
Leia
on the
should have
side
been.
who blew it up.
Yeah, like Leia should have been like that throughout the whole original trilogy. It would have made it
Yeah,
been better.
more intense. That's why I think that what makes that book so well is because there's those two scenes when Nat gets blown up and the Death Star, and you can see it through different people's point of view and actually like how much it mattered.
Right.
So, which is why that book is so well done, is because they actually like focus on that and how people were actually feeling when we didn't really get that in the original trilogy much at all. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
What honorable mentions do you have?
Well, this list was really hard for me to make. But I mean, Luke throwing a lightsaber, we weren't allowed to use that one, but that one for
Yep.
sure is an honorable mention. Just not have him do that would have been really nice. A li- this might make people upset, but porgs, just get rid of like we
Why
don't.
is wrong with porgs? Why
Like,
is this?
what did they bring to us though? Like, what did they add?
It's just they're on that planet. That's
Did
just
we
where they
saw
live.
Chewie cooking one? Like that was it. Like
Yeah, that funny scene is worth all the porgs that they have.
that's worth all the porgs. Trying to think. I know there's so many like little things that they could have done differently, but I think if we would have got, I feel like this could be a major thing, but I would have loved to see how Moff Gideon also got the dark saber. Like I think that would have been really cool as a flashback.
I just saw the flashback or whatever.
Yeah, if we would have actually seen him take it, that would have been sweet. That would have been cool. But I feel like that could be a little major.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be really a change. It'd just be an additional scene. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other ones that you had?
No.
All
Not
right.
that I can think of.
Well, now I'm trying to think like what your number one. Do I know what it is? Like what it? Have you talked about before?
100 million.
Because it's from the sequel trilogy, right?
Yeah.
What episode?
The last one.
I want to say it is the last scene.
The very last scene?
I guess not. If that's your reaction, then it's not. So what is your number one?
My number one is just taking the kiss away.
Oh, yeah.
If they just don't kiss in that scene, it would have been fine. Like it would have been perfectly fine. She could have still drained his power or whatever. Like it would have been fine. It didn't add anything but confusion and stress on my life for the rest of my life.
Stress on your life? What was stress?
Like just like why did we get that? It was a friendly kiss or it was romantic. Like whatever point of view you stand on with that, if they just would have not had it, it would have been completely fine. So that's my number one. Like another drastic one would have been have Admiral Akbar as the main person. And we've talked about this and how that would have fully change and actually
been
fix
the Akbar
episode.
maneuver, not the Holdo maneuver.
Yeah, it would have just fixed the entire
That would have been a
film.
huge change. So
yeah, which is why it's not on my list. And that would have fixed the entire film, honestly. This one character change. So but yeah, I feel like that kiss, episode 9, was just straight up unnecessary. It doesn't add anything except, but I don't know. I thought I was gonna get more pushback from you on that, but
no, because it makes sense from you. Yeah, it's still I agree with you that it's a stupid thing.
Like what does it add?
I never saw it as romantic. I always saw it as a celebratory thing, but like it is like still not something that we see in everyday culture, like a celebratory kiss between two people who are not like romantically involved. So it's like I don't know. It is a stupid, weird addition to that movie choice, but whatever. It is what it is. All right, cool. What do you think my number one is?
I have no
No,
clue.
no clue. So we see it like in animated stuff a lot,
Ooh.
but like it was also in Rogue One, which I just recently rewatched after Andor season 2. But I absolutely hate how like throwing a stormtrooper at another stormtrooper like knocks them both out.
Oh yeah.
Like K2SO, he takes a stormtrooper and just kind of like barely nudges him by hitting him, throwing the body of a stormtrooper in another one, and he gets knocked out, and they both die basically. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you have the armor on, and it's like, yeah, if you can get thrown hard enough, like it's like force pushed like hard enough, like yeah, it can snap your neck or whatever. But when you see these in Rogue One, when they're in the vault or whatever, he just like moves them back and forth like barely anything, and just pushes them away. And there's no way that they should be knocked out or even killed by that little force. But
Yeah.
then also you see like Wrecker or maybe Zeb or somebody will take two heads, stormtrooper helmets, and like smash them together, and it's implied they get knocked out. Like yeah, two really strong beings doing that would knock them out. Yeah, like if you're punching them really hard in the head and they get knocked out, but based on the speed in these animated shows, it's not hard enough for
Yeah.
these people to get knocked out. And I just think it's kind of stupid.
Well, because we also view people helmet on helmet all the time in football, and they don't.
Right. Even
One
harder.
of them's hurt, but not both of them necessarily.
Right. And like
It's always the one that's standing still that's actually the one that gets knocked out.
But like how many times do you think in an NFL season a player gets knocked out?
Probably maybe once a season.
Yeah, and it's like they
get
get
a
hit
one
hard.
random case where the guy got hit so hard his heart stopped.
Right.
But like that happened one time.
Right. With tens of thousands of tackles every season or whatever.
And
Between all
every NFL player always has a ring and a headache because they're always concussed in some way, but they're never knocked out.
Yeah. So just the stupid pushing and hitting with stormtrooper bodies, I think is just.
How many times have you been knocked out in your life, Jeremiah?
0 to 1 time.
What's this one time?
One time I don't know if I was. So it was at my cabin when I was I don't know if I was a kid or if I was a teenager, but like between like our property line and like the ones all the houses like close to the lake, like there's kind of like a line of like birdhouses, like on a single like birdhouse on a pole, and it was at night we had a bonfire, and I was chasing, like had to been Wonder, my dog Wonder, when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I think he had
retriever.
I think he grabbed a flashlight or something.
Scrub?
He was running around with it so I could see him. So I was chasing after him to try and
That's funny.
catch him.
That was a funny moment to watch.
I ran into one of those birdhouses that was on a thing, and or maybe I had the flashlight and I was chasing the dog because people said they saw me running and then heard me yell, and then like the flashlight went flying, and then I didn't say anything. But I don't remember if I got knocked out or if I was just kind of like shocked in the moment.
Gotcha.
And then like the next day in the morning, the birdhouse was like pole was at an angle.
You hit that thing hard.
So like I might have been knocked out there briefly, but like I don't know. You can't gauge if you're out because if you just get knocked out and you wake up like 10 seconds later, like it's just it's like when you sleep, like you wake up and it felt like nothing, no time has
Did you go to
passed.
bed right away, or did they put you on concussion duty and they wouldn't let you?
This was the 90s, bro. No one knew believed in concussions. Early 2000s, no one believed in that stuff.
Yeah, I've been knocked out for sure twice, potentially 3 times, but for sure twice. Like for a hot minute, like for a while. Both
From
the
what?
times we're at the same camp. We used to go to this camp, and one time was when I got my tooth knocked out, and I was standing on a water slide thing that was like this. It, like they still have it. I literally saw a post from this camp on Facebook. The slides running, and I was like traumatized for like a brief second. But I was standing on it, and then a little girl, like I told her not to go down, but she was facing like upwards, so she was hanging with her feet on her belly, with her feet facing me. So, and I told her not to go down. So I was standing on it because someone was on the other side. And this slide like goes flat with like the hill. So it just goes down one hill. It's like super ghetto thing. And I was standing on it. I told her not to go down, but she didn't see me and she thought I said go down. And I had like a full outer body experience where I watched her hit me and I saw myself hit the ground. It was wild. It's hard to explain, but it was so cool in hindsight. But in the moment, it sucked. And then so I hit the ground so hard, my tooth knocked out, and I was like out for a solid like 30 seconds. Like they had to wake me up. Like they're smacking me in the face. And then at the same camp, they used to have this giant ball. I forget what they called it, but it was like a giant life-size like beach ball, and everyone would run at it and push it and hit it, and they would try to get it to your side. But so they used to call us like, so at the same kids camp, like a year before, they called mine, like they called, okay, leaders. And there was like me and then this other kid. And this guy was like way bigger than me, already graduated high school. I was like probably a freshman, but we were leaders at this kids camp. And we both ran into it, and he was like probably double my size. And we hit it, and I just went flying, and to the point where I hit concrete in the back of my head, and I was out for almost a minute. Like they had to bring the ambulance in and like check me out and stuff. And so it was like 2 years in a row I got knocked out the same place. But
Fun.
and I think there was another time where I was playing basketball, but not near as bad as when we witnessed your brother get knock out this kid.
No, that was not my brother. That was Jason.
Was he on your brother's back?
No, that was Jason.
Oh, it was on.
Because Jason wanted to like flip him up to do the dunk.
To dunk on a basketball hoop, and this poor kid fell on the back of his head and had a seizure, and it was bad. It was bad. I still can see the entire scene.
I still remember the seizure. I remember that's seared in my head. But
that's a permanent thing.
Yep.
But yeah.
But
be safe out there, kids.
In the chat says just walk the concussion off, Jeremiah. That's what I did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is our top 5 minor changes to Star Wars. We're probably missing a million of them. So let us know in the comments. Send in a voicemail. Just post something in the Discord, whatever. Tell us what your top minor changes to Star Wars would be. Because
yeah, just comment down below on YouTube. What is your number 1 change you would do?
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. All right, well, that's that. So we might as well transition over to everyone's favorite time of our episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
Oh, wrong button. Back at it with voicemails, and we got 1,000,000 from Shadrick. And so he sent in 12. We're only going to play 11 because it's 12th one. There's so much loud background noise, you can't really hear it.
So resend it in next week.
Nah, it's fine because we're just going to. I heard what it was. I could hear what he
okay.
was saying, so I'll just say what it is, and then not a big deal. But we're just gonna go through this because he's kind of went over. He's been been watching Andor season 1 and 2 for the first time, and so he's been sending in his thoughts as he's watching. So he has a lot. So we're gonna go through these quick. Some of these we don't really gotta talk about much. You might have little questions here and there, but we're gonna fly through these because there's a lot of them. And then we'll finish off with 2 from Uretzi, and because this was a last minute change doing our late night thing, the coup d'etat verse won't be in tonight. So that's sad. But maybe we'll get 2 of them next week. Who knows? We'll see what Garrett has planned for us. But first up from Shadrick, number 1. Let's take a listen.
Hey guys, Shadrick. I'm almost caught up with y'all. I'm listening to y'all's podcasts. Season 2 Andor 5 and 6, I believe. And I finally caught up to the first voicemails I sent. So I can slowly start replying to some of my voicemails now. And one of them was anime recommendations. And I kind of just said anime. I should have been a little more specific, I guess. My bad. Well, I guess it depends really on what you like. Like, if you like just fast-paced action, I don't want to say non-stop action, but solo leveling, some of the best fight scenes you'll ever see in any of these shows. It's crazy. But if you love world building type of shows and all that, you don't have to watch it, but One Piece is one of the best out there for world building. Just that and Attack on Titan. Drew mentioned Attack on Titan. That's some of the best world building out there too.
Facts.
Just to list off some other random ones y'all should watch: Jujutsu Kaisen, Spy X Family. I think y'all would love Spy X Family. It's not like action packed or nothing like that. It's like a spy thriller and all that. Y'all should definitely check out Spy X Family. But yeah, if I think of any more, because I know there's a lot in my. Oh, one more, Hunter x Hunter. That's another good world building one too. But yeah, can't wait to listen to the rest of the voicemails. See you guys.
All right, thank you for that.
One Piece is like on their 1,000+ episode.
Yeah, I knew that. So it's like that one, Dragon Ball, and what other ones have like over 1,000 episodes?
But Dragon Ball is like easy though. One Piece, like you have to dedicate yourself to do it.
What's the difference? Why would 1,000 episodes is 1,000 episodes?
Well, because they did like a version of Dragon Ball Z where they cut all the filler episodes out. So
Right, but they're
it
still-
cuts it in almost half. So it's not as bad.
Still 500 episodes.
But it's not as bad. I don't know. I feel like One Piece. I've seen like the first few seasons of One Piece, and I'm even like collecting the cards right now, and I'm like I want to get into it, but it's so dedication. It's so much dedication. So like it's like 2 years of content essentially.
Fun.
But I don't know if I'll get to it.
All right. Well, let's keep trucking along. Number 2 from Shadrick.
Wow. What can I say, dude? Freaking Andor Season 2 escalated so hard in such a good way. And wow, it is some of the best Star Wars I've seen in a while. This show makes me miss and like gives me nostalgic vibes for just the Rebellion and the original trilogy so much. But man, ever since episode 7 or 8, stuff popped off, and I have very mixed feelings about Cyril, and I think he's a good character just in general, just because I didn't know whether to like him or not. And honestly, I thought his end was pretty tragic. It was just so quick in it, and the line Cassian said to him sums up his whole character. His final lines to him when he said,
True.
"Who are you?" Oh
That's fair.
man, because you gotta think he wasted like so many years obsessing over Cassian, and he pulled a Thanos on him pretty much with Gamora. I don't even know who you are. Not Gamora, but Scarlet Witch. But that's crazy. I really felt bad for Cyril, and yeah, and seeing his mom there at the end crying hurt a little bit. But I got some more thoughts because I'm on the final episode. So yeah, Chadrick, by the way.
Yep, Chadrick, we know who you are. Oh yeah, and spoilers if you haven't watched Andor season 2 for a lot of these voicemails. But yep, crap hit the fan pretty fast,
And that does summarize his character in such a good way.
Yep, he ended up being a no one. Who are you? No one's gonna remember him. So,
GG.
R.I.P. Cyril Karn. All right, well, let's keep going. Number 3.
Okay, here's Shadrick again. Some more thoughts. Again, Mon Mothma. I've always liked Mon Mothma. She was like always a nostalgic character for me. Seeing her in the original trilogy, and then of course that Revenge of the Sith. But now, wow, she's probably one of my new favorite Star Wars characters. And seeing that speech gave me chills, especially when she said Emperor Palpatine. Oh my god, I was like, whoa. And I kind of agree Palpatine shouldn't have been there, because if he was there, you really thought, like, Mon Mothma could escape. I think he would have just force choked her right there or something, but I don't know. That's just me, but yeah, amazing character, very well fleshed out, and wow, and I love that Andor escorts her. Just shows you another reason why Andor's so pinnacle to the Star Wars universe. Just to think, no Andor, Mon Mothma probably would have never escaped, and we never would have got the rebellion we would have gotten today. Again, I love when Star Wars introduce new characters. I know he's been here since Rogue One, but when they introduce new characters and they actually mean something, like they're important or some way important, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just love it how it all connects together.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Mon Mothma is the best. Her speech was great. And he makes a comment like it's good that Palpatine wasn't there because he would have just force choked her or something. Well, I don't think he would have, because I'm fairly confident that only like a handful of people in all the galaxy know that he is a Sith Lord and is force sensitive and all that stuff. So I think now, sure, you don't need to like use your hand to like choke someone. You can just do it with your mind. Like you don't. It's like he could have force choked her, and no one would have known it was him. But like it would have been weird that she just starts grabbing her neck and like suffocating to death. People would have been a little sus. Would have been thought that someone there was
doing something.
But
silence her.
But yes, it's great when we have well written characters that actually mean something, like he stated that Andor is such a huge character in the overall story. But that being said, let's move on to number 4.
All right. This one's going to be a tough one. Shadrick, by the way, because, man, the Luthen episode hurt me really bad. His death was so sad. There were so many times where I was like, oh, he's going to blow up. Oh, they're going to blow him up. Nope. So many times I thought he was going to blow up. But no, they made his death even way more depressing and personal. It was just, man, just seeing him hooked up on that equipment and her standing there, taking her final moments with her. And then seeing his final breath, it just gave me chills. Just, I don't know, it was a little too realistic for me, you know what I mean? Very, very well done. But, wow. Luthen, amazing character. Never thought I'd like him this much, and also love his daughter or whatever that he adopted. And I'm not gonna lie, she gives me Princess Leia like she kind of looks like a young Carrie Fisher, I think at least. But I doubt we'd ever get a recast of someone that's already been in the Star Wars universe. But that'd
Yeah,
be cool
no.
to see her play as a young Carrie Fisher. I don't know. That's just me. She got the sass too. But that whole episode was amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Luthen dying. Pretty sad. Tearjerker. A lot of people cried. But I don't think I cried. Did I? I don't think I did.
No.
It's so sad. And then I think that the actress, what is her name? It's like Dulo or something is her last name. Emily, is that her first name? Something like that.
don't know.
I think she's like 30 years old or something like that. So she would not. I don't think she could pull off a young Carrie Fisher. But that Vivian girl that played young child Leia, she could do a live action like teenage Leia. That'd be cool. I think that'd
True.
be really fun. But probably never gonna get that. I don't know if she's ever gonna do another Star Wars thing. Maybe like a voice. I think she could do if they did like an animated show with like teenage Leia. Then Vivian could voice her, but we'll probably not get that, unfortunately. All right, next up, number 5. I think we're at 5. Yeah, 5. We're going with 5. 4 from Shadows. Take a listen.
All right, it's probably gonna be pretty much my last one that I send y'all before I finish the last episode. But I just want to say, wow, I can't. Jeremiah did say in the first season, I like I said, I not rewatched, but I listened to the podcast not too long ago, season 1, and y'all said something about K2SO or whatever is not going to show up till like the very last 2 episodes. And look what happened. He shows up the very last 2 episodes. It kind of makes me sad, but man, every moment with him so freaking good. Are you the first guard he walks up to? Are you supposed to be here? No, and just smacks him. Oh my god! I was like, yep, I miss this guy. I definitely remember him from Rogue One, but not everything. Mainly his sacrifice, but I just remember him being a sassy robot. So again, I can't wait to watch Rogue One again. Sorry, my 2-year-old yelling at me. His chicken nuggies are heating up. I'll be back, guys.
Been there.
Did we know that he had kids? A kid?
I don't.
Shadrach, did
he
we know
did.
that you're your father? I don't know if we knew that.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yep, K2SO, he's the best. Super
Yeah.
fun. All right, next up, number 6. We're just keep flying through.
Okay, Shadrach's back. Had to give the baby some fruit and grain bars, distract him till the chicken nuggets are done. But I should say boss baby. But anyways, K2SO, amazing Star Wars character. Love the robots, and I forgot how much I miss
Droid.
robot
It's
violence
freaking
on humans. Oh my god,
Droid.
I know, crazy. And I don't know if y'all know, but Battlefront 2 has a big resurrection right now. I guess player counts at an all-time high.
Yeah.
And hopefully they bring support back to that game, or just a Battlefront 3 in general. But if they do bring support back to that game, make K2SO a hero. Even Andor, but imagine K2SO as a freaking hero on Battlefront. Oh my god. But if either one of y'all have PS5s, I would love to play Battlefront 2 with you guys. I've been trying to rally up my friends because I don't want to play it by myself. I need a squad or something, but it'd be awesome if you guys got PS5s or something. But let me know what your takes are gaming or anything, or if you guys do game in general. But yeah,
All right, thank you. Yes, Battlefront 2 has like the highest player count of like all time right now. I
Why is that? It just people.
because people want a new Star Wars game. They want Battlefront 3, so people
Yeah.
are just like hyped and like itching to play.
I saw there was like a poster, like a billboard. I thought it was fake, but it's actually real. I think it's in California. somewhere, but it literally says we want Battlefront 3. That's like the whole poster.
Yeah, I saw that. I feel like it's not real, but because it's easy to put a
Well,
fake.
I thought it was fake, and then apparently it wasn't because there was like other images of it from different angles from people.
Oh, but last time I played Battlefront 2 was in 2019. So I had a lot of fun playing that, but I don't know. I don't really. I have time to play video games, but like I don't. I'd rather do other stuff,
Yeah.
and like I don't even have the game anymore, so I'd have to buy it again. And then like I don't have. I maxed out all the players with skills and skill points and stuff and upgrades, but now I don't have that anymore. Like, so I'll just start from scratch and like being a noob again. No thanks. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of dedication.
but if they do Battlefront 3 someday, I'll definitely get it, and
I
I'll
would
get
definitely get it too.
on a PlayStation 5. But the developers are like, there's nothing in the works. Like the team that did all these games, like they're all dispersed to other departments or other companies now and stuff. But I think this big push, I think they're gonna end up developing one, but that's still gonna be what
3 years.
three probably at least 3-4 years away because you can put out a movie in a year or in like 2 years. You can from scratch do a movie, but like a video game, that's a lot more work to like restart from the beginning. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a while. So 2028, 2029, maybe we'll get one if we're all
I
still
played
alive.
it a little bit, not too well, like a year or so ago, but
Yeah.
that was probably it.
All right. Cool.
Most of the time, just play. I think another reason for the hype was that there was the Fortnite Star Wars stuff going on at the same time. So people are like, "Oh, I don't want to play Fortnite Star Wars. I want to play
Real
Star Wars." Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense. But the hype is strong, so hopefully they'll listen to the fans. All right. Next up, I think it's number 7.
I know, sorry, I'm probably blowing you up with voicemails, but I just had to get it out. I absolutely love Yavin 4. Seeing it so much in Andor made me forget how much I love it because it's just such an iconic Star Wars planet, especially from the original trilogy. It's just super nostalgic to me, especially seeing like the green screens or whatever that's all over the temples and stuff. And it was one of my favorite maps on OG Battlefront 2 from 2005. And what's cool about that game, you could play Clone War era on that map, and the heroes for that map on the hero side was Mace Windu for the clones, and for the Separatist droids, it was Darth Maul. So, I wonder if, I feel like I did hear something about in Star Wars lore about Darth Maul being, spotted on Yavin 4. Was that where he was first spotted? Or maybe, I don't know. I don't know if Tatooine was the first time he was spotted, in general, because I don't know if a Jedi group found him and he killed them all. You know what I mean? So let me know if there's a Star Wars story out there that involves Darth Maul and Yavin 4. I'm pretty interested about that because if so, I do believe it's right before Phantom Menace. But yeah, let me know.
All right. Thank you. I think you are referring to that fan film that was Darth Maul versus like 5 Jedi or whatever it was, and it was like the live action fan film that has it's like one of the most viewed Star Wars fan films of all time. But that might be what you're thinking because that was like his last test before he officially was became a Darth or something like that. But go check that out. I think it's called was it Maul Apprentice or something like that. Go check that out. One of the best choreography things from a fan film of all time. So go check that out. But that's cool that you could play as Darth Maul back in 2005 on OG Battlefront 2. But moving on, number 8 from Shadrick.
Well, I can say I officially finished Andor,
Congrats.
and overall, great show, but I feel like the final episode was very rushed. I don't know. Just kind of felt anticlimactic, but I did kind of like to see where everybody was doing in the end, and I'm curious. Bix at the end, was that Cassian's child? I don't know. That blew my mind, but well, I heard originally the show was supposed to have 4 to 5 seasons, but Disney reduced it just to 2, which kind of makes sense now with the amount of plot that was building up. Because I felt like we could have got 4 seasons, but and Drew also wanted to, and Jeremiah also wanted to clear up the scene that I thought was funny too with the old alien in the elevator. Uh, the subtitles on Alien said, "Huh?" And Clea said, "What?" I thought that was hilarious. She was responding to the old alien lady. It makes it more obvious with the captions, but I thought it was funny.
All right, thank you. Well, yes, that was Andor's son. And then what else did he say?
Was there gonna be 5 seasons?
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be a 5-season
Oh wow.
thing, but because each arc from season 2 was supposed to be an entire season fleshed out,
wow.
but because of how much money they were spending on it, they're like, we can't commit to
afford
5.
this.
I think they said the 2 seasons altogether was $650 million.
Yeah.
So now it sounds like a lot because it comes out to like 30 million an episode, which is a lot. But if you think about it, we got basically 4 movies in season 2, and then like also 3 or 4 movies in season 1. So it's kind of like not that expensive compared to like normal movies and stuff. So or kind of on par, but they knew that if they did all 12 episodes for 5 seasons, that they'd spend over $1 billion and they wouldn't get that money back. So
Yeah, I feel like with 2 seasons, the length was good. I feel like if they would have went that far, I don't know how many people would have stuck around. Sadly,
I don't know. Hard to tell. Let's see. That was number 8. So next up, number 9.
Hey guys, Shadrick. Starting to realize I kind of messed up sending 20 million voicemails because I just watched all 3 episodes for the Ventress arc for Tales of the Bounty Hunter, and I only heard one of my voicemails so far, and I'm like, God dang! I thought I was only rushing because I don't know why did I rush. I thought I wasn't going to get them in on time or something. But my bad about that. If I sent 20 million, I just want to say sorry about that. But yeah, I'm caught up with a lot of things now. So Ventress arc, I loved what I saw of it so far. I mean, I wish I had more. A little slow, kind of boring. I want to know more about that Jedi kid, but man, my favorite part is when she told him like who she was, like when she dropped her name as Ventress or whatever. I'll remember that for a while. Now we need a live action show with these two. Come on, Disney, give it to us. But yeah, now I'm starting the Cad Bane one. First episode's pretty good. So can't wait to listen to y'all's podcast episode about it. See you guys.
All right. Well, thank you. And you can't apologize for sending in so many and then start sending more and more in after that. Come on, Shadrick. You sent in another 3 after this one. So, but yeah, we were kind of disappointed by I guess I was disappointed by the Venture stuff. You thought it was pretty good, but it is what it is. But yeah, go listen to those breakdowns. All right. Number 10. Let's keep going.
Chadrick here, and by the way, I just want to say I want to hear. Can we hear more childhood stories or funny memories between like Jeremiah and Drew? I mean, because you guys are childhood friends, right? Because I think I remember a couple years ago. I can't remember which podcast episode I listened to, but Jeremiah told the funniest story ever about pushing Drew off of like a snow thing, and it knocked the wind out of him, and it freaked them
Opposite.
both out.
Flip.
But Drew's fine in the end, or whatever. But
Flip that.
oh my god, it just reminded of me and my cousin in my childhood. We're like the same age, just a month apart, so we got into a lot of crap together, and it just reminded me of the funny things we used to get into together back in the day. So I would love to hear more about some random funny stories between y'all like that, because that cracked me up. I'm sorry, Drew, but it was funny. But I hope you guys have a good day.
All right, thank you, Shadrach. No, you got the story wrong.
It's
Drew
flipped.
tackled me. He speared me off a snowbank, a snow hill. I like fell 10 feet, and that's when I got knocked out of me. And he was just standing there like, okay, whatever. And I'm dying and suffering, thinking I'm going to die. Pretty sure Jess was there too when that happened. But I don't know. We had some stories that we mentioned today. But is there any other stories that we could quick tell? Anything that I don't know. I remember that I told the story about us putting the Sharpie on Jess's head at a sleepover on his face. That was pretty funny. Did we ever tell a story of the DZ when we remember when we had your Jess's birthday party, and then like we all like stayed in like the tubes and like got our parents all mad? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I remember. Oh, my dad was so angry. Like we just hid in like it was like so it was DZ was called Discovery Zone, and it was kind of like a McDonald's play place, but like a giant one that like fills up this entire warehouse basically. And we just all like went into the tubes and stayed in there and hid from our parents for like a couple hours, like, and our parents were so angry. And then I remember I tried to like get out of one tube and like run to like across like a path or whatever to get to the like, other side, and your dad was there and he grabbed me and caught me. I was like, no. Then he dragged me, and then my dad was so angry. But do you remember that? Like,
I do not remember that at all.
I remember that because I remember your dad he like held on to my wrist so hard when he was dragging me. Funny.
How old would you have been?
Well, it would have been. It was before we parted ways, and so 12 was the oldest because I was 12 when we kind of separated.
Left. Yeah.
So I would have been younger than that. I think it had to have been. When's your birthday? Your birthday was September. I think it had to have been Jess's birthday, which is in December, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there was snow outside. So it was probably Jess's birthday. Probably like 10 or something like that, and you would have been 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's funny. There's probably a lot more that Jeremiah remembers because he was older.
I always remember random stuff anyway, so
that's true.
All right, that was a story.
I've had too many concussions.
Yeah, you forgot a lot of things. What number was that? Was that number 10 or 9?
Bro, I have no idea at this point.
I don't know. I think that was 10. So we'll go to number 11, which is the last one that we'll be playing for him. So let's take a listen.
Hey guys, I just listened to the Cad Bane arc episode, and I hate to break it to y'all. I kind of knew about the I can't swim moment for a while, just because of memes or pictures, but I didn't know. It makes you feel any better. I didn't realize how fast it happened. Like, I thought it was going to be more dramatic and built up, but no, it was just, I can't swim. What? I can't swim, and then he just fell off. But it was still pretty heartbreaking to me. But yeah, sorry, I kind of already knew. Ever since then, though, I've unfollowed a lot of pages, so I don't see as many spoilers anymore. And oh, and one more thing, I did watch Acolyte, and I did send y'all voicemails. Uh, and yeah, I did not like that show. Uh, I think y'all heard me go on a rant about how I could have changed the whole show with I can't even remember his name, Kyber or whatever his freaking name is, the Sith dude in the show. It should have been about him and
Oh, I remember
his
now.
master that mistreated him or whatever. But I don't know. But I did watch Acolyte forever ago when it came out weekly, sadly. But and yeah, I have some voicemails if y'all want to go listen to them again. But yeah, I hated that show.
All right. Thank you. Yep. Acolyte was pretty terrible. And the guy's name is Kymir. That was his name. So,
I like Kyber.
but I guess I do vaguely now remember him.
I
sending
remember
in,
him sending in now.
but because I think it was last week we said he needed to watch Acolyte because he was so behind. But I guess he had watched that one first before he took his break. So that's that. He had one more that was like even harder to understand because of background noise, and he was just saying he's going to move on to watch Skeleton Crew. So
Oh, sweet.
that is
Keep us posted.
we definitely like that show a lot of fun. So Shadrick, you can't be sending in a million. All right, I know we love you. You're a good friend, but come on, no more 10 plus that we can do like max 5. So because next week Grace is on and we can't keep her up past her bedtime, so we can't have too many
True.
voicemails. So
True.
but we still love to hear from you either way, but just not as many. All right, well, we finally got to someone else. We got 2 voicemails from our good friend Yaretsi. So let's take a listen to number 1, because I think this first one is her minor change to Star Wars, which is one I forgot about, and I didn't put it in honorable mentions because I didn't want to like spoil her answer, but it's definitely a good one. So let's take a listen.
Hey Empire Radio, it's Yaretsi, and y'all are talking about minor changes to Star Wars this week, so I was gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents in, and I think this qualifies as a minor change, at least I hope it does, it's just a name, but at the end of Rise of Skywalker, when Rey says she's a Skywalker, I wish she would have kept Palpatine, because it fits her character better, and it would have made the story kind of 10 times better, not that much better, but it still would be a good ending. And also, who doesn't want to be a Palpatine? I just finished reading the Darth Plagueis novel 3 weeks ago.
Ooh, solid.
Palpatine's a BA character. Let me be related to Palpatine. If I was in Rey's shoes, I would have been like, yes, I'm a Palpatine. You got a problem with it? I will use that Sith lightning any day. Anyway, bye.
All right, we got Yaretsi Palpatine over here. Yes, that is a good answer. I totally forgot about that.
But it changes the entire title of the film.
That too, but
You would have to change it to the Rise
the title. Have been a better title than that they could change it to.
Rise of Palpatine.
But
actually, honestly, that would have fit because Palpatine came back. Gosh,
it would have been a bigger it would break the internet because the Rise of Palpatine. This is like the Skywalker trilogy or saga. It's supposed to be the conclusion, and Palpatine's rising again. But I think if they had that title, everyone would have known then that Rey was a Palpatine. Then it would have been spoiled too easily. But
no, because there's rumors that he was coming back. So
the trailer we already knew because the trailer that he was back.
Yeah, so it would have just been that.
Yeah, but I think with that, because it's the title of the movie, it would be related to the hero, which was Rey. I think people would have.
I wouldn't, but maybe you.
Oh, the internet would have.
I mean, they would have speculated, sure,
but yes, the whole movie it was about Rey seeking what her identity is, what her origins are,
yes,
and her being okay with that.
And then
it was set up for her to say, "That is who I am. I am Rey Palpatine." and it didn't happen. So it was a very inconsistent.
She
with the
gets
writing.
adopted through ghosts.
And so you're right. So you're right. You're out. You're better than us. You got it on that list that we didn't. So if I change my list, I might put that one on there. I probably should, but who knows? All right. Well, we got our final one from your Etsy. So let's take a listen.
Hey Empire Radio, it's Etsy back with the second voicemail. And I just finished going to a leadership seminar in Tyler, Texas. It was really fun. It's called Hobie. And I won a $1,200 scholarship to go to a world leadership conference in Chicago. So that was fun. But what I wanted to bring up was that we were talking about Star Wars. And I told one of my leaders my favorite character, and she was like, that's an interesting favorite character. I'm not going to tell y'all, but it would be interesting to see what y'all think my favorite character for Star Wars is. Anyway, I wanted to say what her favorite character for Star Wars was. It's actually really funny. Hers is Salacious B. Crumb. Yes, you
Bruh.
heard me right. It's Salacious B. Crumb.
Bruh.
To be fair, she hasn't watched Clone Wars or Rebels or any of the shows except for The Mandalorian. I told her she should watch it because Hondo Ohnaka has a Kowakia monkey lizard as well. Anyway, bye.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool, Etsy, that you won something at this leadership conference, a scholarship to go to the World Leadership Conference in Chicago. So I'm assuming that means you're going to go.
It's like near our neck of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well just go to your conference and then
Hop on.
with the money that you win there, use that to quick fly up to Minneapolis, and then Drew and I could maybe meet up with you and your family or something, but it'd be cool to meet you. But now we have to guess what her favorite character is, and she says a weird. So for some reason I want to say Omega, but I don't think so. But who would be a weird
Jar Jar.
it'd be like a minor. I feel it's like a minor character that from like Clone Wars or something.
What's the name of that Jedi who found Ahsoka?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Now because you Plo Koon.
Plo Koon. Yeah, it was like on the tip.
Koon. I don't know. I feel like he's a good character. People like. I don't know.
But as your favorite, I feel like she gives off Plo Koon vibes.
I don't know. It might be
That's
Hondo. I think she put a little hint in there. Hondo Ohnaka. That's my guess.
All right, mine's Plo Koon. I don't know because it's close enough to Ahsoka. Without Plo Koon, there'd be no Ahsoka. So
Right. So I'm assuming that means next week she's going to send in her answer, hopefully, or we're just going to live in tension for the rest of our lives.
Just like the last 3 movies. But anyways, yeah.
Well. All right. Well, thank you, Shadrick and Yaretsi. And sadly, no coup d'etat verse tonight because this was a late announcement to do this recording. But next week, we'll be back with Comics with Grace, doing Bounty Hunter comics. And so send in voicemails for that as well. And Shadrick, remember, don't flood us. And I don't even know if he's going to listen to this before then. So hopefully.
Well, if not, it's all good. Voicemails are what brings us all together. It's like the Force.
It binds us.
It binds us.
It penetrates us. All right. Thank you. So let's go over some social media and we can get out of here. So if you want to follow us, go on the link in the description, links.co/Empire Radio, links spelled with 2 I's. Click that landing page for everything Empire Radio, and you can follow us. And so if you want to send in a voicemail yourself, one of the things in that landing page is a link to send in a voicemail. And so let us know a minor change to Star Wars that you would make. Let us know any thoughts about anything Star Wars. If you just want to ask us a random question or just a comment, go ahead and send in a voicemail as long as it's family friendly. But you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch for live streams. We live stream every episode. And if you want to be interacting with us and fact checking us and asking questions, we can definitely respond to those as needed. There's also a fan email if you want to email us about anything. think that's everything. Anything else, Drew?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Top 5-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.